Hello and welcome. Now in this video we're gonna have a quick look of all the functionality that comes with the pack. Let's start with master door blueprint. This is the simple door locked by a lock blueprint and it's opened by a switch. And this is almost exactly the same door, but it's locked by security pad. So let's just have a quick look. If I try to open it, it just wiggles, it doesn't actually open, and the lock is indicating that it won't open. But if I use the switch by pressing E, now the lock is indicating that it's open, and I can open the door. Door opens always away from the player. And also, if I lock it now, it's closed. The second door is almost identical to the first one, but it uses the keypad. And the current code is 6969, as I've written over there. And also I've implemented a security card. So if you pick it up, you can have a look at it. And now if I try to open the keypad menu, it's going to show up here. And for example, let's say this is section B12. Your code is going to be 4879. But currently it's 6969, just to quickly test it. And the door is open, and here we go. So how does it work? And the door itself is its own blueprint. The switch, you have an eyedropper tool right here, so you can just pick the door like this. Click on this, pick the door, and now the switch is connected to the door. This one works a little bit different. So the door itself, if you click on the door, you can see there is a lock actor here. You can just use the eyedropper tool to connect to the security dial pad. And it should just work. Great, so this is a quick door blueprint. Let's have a look at the next one. This is a fear post-process volume. So it's like a quick fear effect when the player gets scared or whatever for drama. So if I walk in right now into this box, it's going to shake the screen, rather shake the camera, and it's going to quickly apply the post-process fear post-process volume. And you can do this as many times as you want. And this blueprint, this box right here, is a global event manager. You can connect any actor to it and specify an event that you want to appear. So for example, we have a whole list of events here. I'm gonna walk through it later because we're gonna be using this blueprint quite a lot. Next, you have a graffiti blueprint, which by default does nothing, but you can set it up that it appears when player gets close, like so. And also it makes player camera automatically look at it. Next one we have is Steam Hazard. So you can't cross here. It doesn't damage your player or anything like this, but you won't be able to cross. Now, if we pick up this wheel, or rather valve, and we attach it here and the spin, it disappears. The smoke disappears, and we can walk right through. This is a kill zone. In this specific template, there is no health, so player cannot really die. But what it does is it resets player position based on the blueprint that's located right here. So if I walk into it right now, you can see that the player just gets teleported backwards away from the kill zone. And here's the player reset point. So you can only have one of those in the level, but you can dynamically move it around with another blueprint if should you wish to. This is just a leather blueprint, nothing special about it. It goes and then you can go back down and jump off it. Lifting actor, you can plug in any mesh in here. So you just press E, player lifts it up, he can move it around, put it back on the floor. Look at me blueprint. So if I have my camera down, I walk through this and camera automatically looks at the specified point. And the point is represented by this sphere, which is not visible in gameplay. It's also triggered by event manager box. So here it's connected with an eyedropper tool. So just click this, connect the look at me master. The event type is set to actor on state. So what it means is that connected actor gets activated. Boom, it works. The next one is a moving wall. Nothing fancy about it. It's just offset position. So if I walk through this right now, the wall is going to move away from me. Those are the pickups that the player can pick up or read. There's a folder here. And also it works in tandem with some of the objects, or rather some of the other blueprints that we have in this pack. So This is a warp switch, and by default it does nothing, so if I just press E, nothing happens. If I walk here and pick up this orb, which is a key, you can plug it in, and notice how the meshes here are gonna just warp out of existence. Boom. So they disappear, I can walk through, and if I take the switch out, they reappear. And if you don't want to hold it anymore, you can just drop the switch by pressing F. This is the light pickup, and it's a little bit too bright because my exposure settings inside the demo level is completely different. Don't worry about that, it works fine. And this is just a test node to show that you can read stuff. And when you're done, you press close, and it's all done. Now, this one is a projector. Through, you can see the projector is going to switch on. There is an image here, but it's a little bit too bright to see. Again, in the demo section, it works perfectly fine. Let's go back here. We have pushables. If you start the game here, you can push this block here. Just by standing next to it, it gets pushed. And if it detects collision, you will stop pushing it. So let's just push it all the way in, and it should stop. Yeah, now it stopped moving completely. Same goes for this shelf. It will not move if there's a collision present. And now it does because I just moved the block away. So those are super easy to adjust. And I recommend having a look inside the blueprint or just contact me directly on Discord and I will help. This is the same exact blueprint, just attached to the safe door that we saw over there. The combination is 1, 2, 3, 4. Extremely difficult to remember. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the door is opening. And this is Scratch blueprint. It's a dynamic scratch that just appears out of nowhere. Let me just walk through the global event manager to show you. Boom. And now it cools down and eventually it disappears. It has inside this blueprint has dynamic VFX. So let's just copy it and make it vertical. And let's put it on this wall here so you can better see. And now we're just going to make sure that the blueprint is connected. We're going to press a plus here to add an event. We're going to use the eyedropper tool to select the Scratch Master 2, and it's going to be actor on state. Now we're going to save, press play. You can see it spawns little rocks when the Scratch appears, which is kind of cool. We don't need this anymore, just delete it. This is a shelf blueprint, which has only one function. It's just shelf amount variable, which goes up and down. So you can put like 500 in there, and let's go all the way to the top. Obviously, we probably don't want that. Next one is a timer blueprint, which gets triggered if you walk through the global event manager. And it counts away an hour. You can set it to, obviously, whatever number you want. This is a dizzy blueprint, which makes your character super dizzy as he walks through it. So let's just quickly jump on that pipe, and as you can see, camera goes all wonky, and player feels a little dizzy from just standing in it. Obviously, if you walk away, the effect disappears. This is display message widget. So there is a widget which is inside the project. If you walk through it, it displays it, and blah, blah, blah. You can close this and continue. This is a UV blueprint. So you pick up a UV light and then you equip it. And as you can see, there's a hidden message that's only visible with UV light. And if you walk away, it disappears. So it only appears in close proximity. So this is a broken floor. This is primarily for level building. So you have a bunch of variables here, floor chunks, visibility, and enable rotation and offset. So if I click this on, and you can see here, there it says rotation, minimum, maximum, and offset. So if I start modding this sliders, you can see that it's dynamically updating the blueprint. It's gonna have less rotation or more rotation. And this is one by one. And this is, for example, your rubble floor. Like I said, this is the level building blueprint, nothing to do with the player. Finally, this one is called a warp sphere. It's a sphere that gets triggered by either player proximity or the global event manager. And what it does, it swaps all those meshes to something else. So this is the warp actor. If you go inside, there should be a variable that says warp static mesh array. If you open it up, it has a bunch of different meshes, and that's what potentially this blueprint here will be swapped into. And as you can see, as soon as the wave touches them, all the meshes get swapped to something else. You can see it's a big sphere just growing out of the center. And you can plug in here, for example, corridors, some items, like anything you want, and make it part of your game. For example, disappearing walls in the labyrinth or whatever. And here we have a very simple blueprint for a monster. So it's connected to the lights. We have a bunch of lights here, as you can see. This global event manager is going to spawn the monster. He's not going to appear straight away, but he's going to calculate the position based on character position. So if we walk through here, it's going to start the watcher timer in the top left corner. The timer is completely random, so he appears at random intervals. As you can see, he just spawned. And the lights flicker when he's approaching. And finally, he appears here. Now the light's going to go back on. It's going to disappear, and he's going to start following me. And he caught me. And as soon as he catches me, I get teleported to the starting point. And so basically, as soon as you trigger him, he's going to find the nearest spawn location, which is this guy, spawn point. He's going to find the nearest one to you. He's going to spawn there. Lights are going to flicker in the project are reacting to this blueprint. They're going to flicker when he appears to indicate that he's nearby. And then he's going to disappear and start following you, which is pretty terrifying. And here we have a bunch of static meshes for level building and some more lights. This is pretty much the whole template. I'm going to quickly show you how to add your own pickups and also how Global Event Manager works. The Global Event Manager is just a trigger box, as you can see right here. You don't need to worry too much about this code, but what it does is he's referencing different blueprints in a level. So for example, here he's referencing a projector, and you can add as many of them as you want. So for example, we have the projector, and let's say I drag this light right here, position it somewhere close so we can see it. I'm going to go back to my event manager. We're going to click plus. We're going to expand this menu. We're going to use the eyedropper tool to pick up the fluorescent light, and we're going to choose an event type. An event type is going to be lights off. You can also have a look at using event fear, which is going to trigger the fear effect. Stop player, it's going to stop a player, and the duration of stopping the player. Also, if you want to do it once, and is it active trigger or not. So now if I go to my lamp and open it up, you're going to see here highlighted in purple, there's a global event, and this is the function that you're going to be looking at. So global event manager, we're going to switch it based on the type of event you want. And if you remember, I set it up to have lights off state. So it goes to this event, and here is the whole functionality to deactivate the light. Let's have a look if it works. So I walk in, projector switches on, and the light goes off as well, which is great, which is what we want. And now we just want to make sure that this lamp event is going to get triggered a little bit later than the projector. If you want the event to be delayed, you can just type in the amount of seconds you want it to be delayed by. So currently we have it at 4. So the lamp should go off in 4 seconds right after the projector. So let's walk in. You have projector. We wait a little bit and the lamp goes off. So this is how the global event manager works. If you want it to work with your new blueprint, let's say you created a new blueprint, all you needed to do to see this function is to go to class settings and look at the interfaces. So if you click add here and type in BPI, you're not going to see it now, but this is the interface that's already implemented here, receive global events. So that's what you need to look for. And then you just right click on it and implement event. And you're going to have this pin right here. So let's close all of that and quickly have a look at what type of events we have. If you want to add a new event, for example, I don't know, whatever it may be really, you can go to enumerations open this file called e-events, and that's all the events that can happen. So if you want a new event, you just add a new enumerator and you type in whatever. And then this guy is going to appear in your blueprints, but we're not going to do that now. Another thing that I would like to show you is how to create your own pickups. So this is a pickup, for example, orb key. If you browse the folder where it's located, there's a bunch of different pickups, but the main one we want to have a look at is pickup actor master. You need to create a child blueprint of this if you want to create a new one. Let's open up, let's say we open up the valve. Let me just drag it here. It inherits all the functionality of the parent, and it also has the interface to interact with it. But if you go to show inherited variables right here, if you click on this cog and show inherited variables, we're going to have a look at this specific variable, which is the most important one. It's called pickup actor data. So it fills the slot. We choose the valve. Pickup actor is data table. Let's have a look at the data table next. So if you go to the pickup actor data table, that's all of them. There's a bunch of parameters here. The icon, the static mesh is a discardable description, the notification message that shows up. It also has pickup actor type and class. So class needs to be exactly the same. Let's find our UV light, or rather orb again. So this is our orb that we just picked up. This is a static mesh icon, name, discardable or not, and then we need to set up class to be exactly the same as this guy. Because when you drop it on the floor, this is what the engine is going to spawn. And the type, let's have a look at it. Type is only important with the lights. So if you go to chem light, for example, and look at the pickup actor type, it says chem light here. So if you go to enumerators, pickup actor type, this is all the different types. So generic, which is the most basic one, it's going to do absolutely nothing. It's just there to identify the pickup actor as basically it's doing nothing usually. And you also have chem light and UV light, and that is going to do something. So if I'm going to go right now to the blueprints game, we're going to open the player character and we're going to have a look at the player widget. As soon as you pick up an actor, he's going to check if it's a light or not, essentially. So here, as soon as you pick it up, it's going to set it to equip, and then it's going to change depending on the pickup actor type. So this is where it gets important. If it's generic, it does nothing, as you can see. It switches on the chem light on the player, which is located here on the spring arm. You have chem light and UV light by default, they're off. And based on this pickup actor type, is going to switch them on and off. So if I press play, I pick up the light, and then I equip that light by pressing 1. As you can see, it starts glowing and lighting everything around you. Same goes for the UV light. But if I pick up an orb, it's a generic object, it does nothing. You can just carry it around, but it's not gonna, affect the light in any way. And obviously you need an icon for your object if you're going to be creating a new one. Let's just quickly close all of that. And we're going to go to our levels. We're going to go to development, and we're going to open the render room. And as you can see, I was taking a screenshot here of the valve. There's a camera here. So if you go to the camera, this is the screenshot that you're going to take. And you need to go to a high resolution screenshot and use custom depth as mount. And that's going to take the screenshot just of this valve. And later you can edit it in Photoshop or Substance Designer, plug it back in as a texture, and let's have a look at all the UMG textures we have here. This is all the icons. So just duplicate it and replace with yours, and it should just work. And this concludes the introduction to the template. I hope you have fun with it and make something really cool. Thank you.